comes exception handling. That disrupts the normal flow of the program's instructions. Okay, what does it mean? So a lot of time what happens is there might be some error, some issue in the execution of program, even though it was not expected. Okay, so let's say you are trying to connect your program to a database. Okay, and it loses the connection somehow. It does not manage to connect it. So it raises an error, right? Now the problem with an error is that if and when the error occurs, Python stops the execution immediately and throws an exception. Okay, but what if we are expecting some kind of error and we don't want to stop the execution? We want our program to continue and do something else. Okay, for that we need to use exception handling. Okay, so an exception is basically a Python object that represents an error, right? Okay, for the syntax for exception handling in this Python is very simple. Okay, first of all there is a try block. Okay, so sometimes your friend says यार ये कोड नहीं चल रहा है, so you'll say ये try करके देख. Similarly, it's literally that. So you say try this piece of code, you put all of your suspicious operations which might give some error in the try block. Okay, and then comes the except block. Now this has two things. Except blocks has two things. First of all, you can mention some specific kind of exception. Okay, so let's say zero error. When you are dividing a number with zero, it creates an error because it's not possible to divide any number by zero, right? So it throws an error, zero exception, divide by zero exception, right? So you can specifically write an except block for zero exception error and do whatever you want to do over there. Okay, and similarly you can write except blocks for multiple specific exceptions, value error, zero error, some another kind of error, string error. Okay, or what you can do is you can only write except. So what it will do is basically all of the exceptions will be mapped to the same except block. Okay, and finally comes the else block. So if your try code executes successfully, after that the else block is executed. Okay, so when there is no exception, the else block gets executed. Okay, and then there is a finally block. Now finally block is a very important block because let's say when you're trying to connect to some database or some another crucial, let's say you have opened a connection to some socket. What is socket? That doesn't matter. So basically, if some kind of error occurs, you want to make sure that some specific code has to run in whatever case. For that we use finally. So error happens, doesn't happen, whatever happens, in any case, whatever code you write in the finally block will run. Okay, so yeah. uh, okay, and finally comes the last thing is the raise keyword. So basically you can throw errors or exceptions yourself. Why would one want to throw error in the program? Okay, so let's take a scenario. Let's say you are creating a library like we imported the regex module, right? You are writing some module for someone else to write use. Okay, in that case, let's say you are trying to write some code and you expect some specific kind of input. If the user doesn't give that kind of input, you might want to throw an error because you don't want to continue with the execution, right? You are writing a library, not an application. So in that case, you might want to use the raise keyword. So basically the syntax for raise is very simple. You can write raise space whatever, there are various kinds of errors and exceptions in Python. I would suggest you to read about them. One of them is memory error. So whenever if your program consumes all of the memory available, it throws the memory error. Okay, the input, and along with that you can pass your custom string. You write memory error, in the bracket you pass whatever string what you want to give to that user. Okay, so when I say raise memory error bracket some string, it throws an error actually, and it reads the input is too huge. Okay, at the last line you can see it says memory error, the input is too huge. Okay, so let's look at some examples of exception handling in Python. Okay, so first of all, we have a list over here, which is a character a 0 and 2, and we are using a for loop for entry in random list. So for every iteration, the entry will have the values of a, then 0, then 2. Okay, within that we use the try except blocks. Okay, so what we are trying to do is we are simply trying to divide 1 by some variable which is entry. Okay, so 1 by 1 it will have the values of a, 0 and 2. So first of all we print a variable in the try block, and then this r equals 1 by int of entry is our suspicious code, because we are trying to divide 1 by something and we don't know right now what it is. Okay, so it is suspicious because we cannot allow the entry variable to be 0 or anything other than integer, right? So we write it in our try block, and in the except block, like I mentioned, we can simply write except, and all of the exceptions will be covered in that block. Okay, in this what we do is we print oops, and now basically there is an module in Python sys, which stands for system, and what this method does is basically it returns an array or list of all of the exceptions or errors raised. Okay, so sys.exe underscore info returns a list, and we print the 0th of it, so the last error which was raised. Okay, so when we execute this program, sorry, the connection got interrupted, so we have to start another runtime for this. Okay, so once we run this code, what happens is, first of all, the value of entry is a, and we try to divide 1 by a. We cannot do that. Okay, so what happens is basically it raises an value error. Okay, Sec and what we need to note is that at any error or exception, the execution of program is not stopped. It is continuing the for loop, right? If this was not in a try and except block, the execution of Python code would have stopped at this very moment where we tried to divide 1 by a. Okay, now the second variable is 0. Again, we cannot divide 1 by 0. So 0 division error is raised in Python. Okay. And finally, when we divide 1 by 2, the entry is 2 and no error is raised because 1 by 2 is a valid division. Okay. Now let's move to next example. Okay. Over here, like we used sys.exec.info, there is another way to access these exceptions. Okay, so this is the same code as above, but the only change is in the except statement where we write except exception as e. So when we write except exception as e, all of the exceptions which occur will be passed as a variable e inside this block over here. Okay, which we can use for whatever purposes we want. Okay, so when we execute this code, we can see we can access the variable e and we can print it. Oops, we print e occurred. Okay, so what is the first e? Invalid literal for int with base 10. A occurred. Okay, we cannot pass int inside a. And then when we try to divide 1 by 0, another error occurred and it gets printed. And finally we can the 2 occurs, and for the division of 1 by 2, that is 0.5, is printed. Okay, now this is a sample code when we want to assign specific code to some specific error. Okay, so when the code throws value error, this part of the code will be executed. When type error or zero division error occurs, this part of the code will get executed. And finally, whatever remaining errors or exceptions are there will be mapped to this part of the code. Okay, now this is an sample for the raise keyword which we saw. Okay, you can see when we raise it, it says, it reads keyboard interrupt. Okay, and when we want to execute this, over here you can see it's a memory error, and it also reads our custom string which we passed to it. Okay, so this is it. And finally, this is an example for the else block. So basically in our code, what is happening is we write a try and except block, and finally we have a else block. Inside the try block, we take an input variable number, and then we try to assert num modulo 2 equal to 0, and except we say print not an even number, and then we say else reciprocal equals 1 by number, the input which we took, and print the reciprocal. So what is happening is I gave input as 0. Now 0 modulo 2 is equal to 0. Yes, this is true, because 0, you can say it's an even number. Basically it's not even, but modulo 2 is equal to 0. So try gets executed properly. That means we need to execute else block. Okay, so when we go into else block, zero division error happens because 1 by 0 throws an error. Okay, so what if I had given some another input, let's say 2? So in this case, the try gets executed successfully, and the else also gets executed successfully. And finally, if I had some another input, some odd number, let's say 5, so it reads not an even number, so it goes into the except part. Okay, and the last example for this is our finally. Okay, so whatever might be the input, the finally block gets executed. So let's run this. So over here we have k, and we are trying to divide 5 by 0, which is not possible, so it throws an error. So our except block handles the zero division error. Okay, and we print can divide by 0. Over here you can see can divide by 0, and then finally it goes to the finally block, which says this is always executed. No matter what, the finally block gets executed. Okay, and now we come to another concept, which is deep copy and shallow copy.